The night market of Outpost 9 was loud, bright, and full of strange alien voices, yet one figure tried her best to stay invisible. She was thin, wrapped in a torn gray cloak, her skin a pale silver blue. Her eyes were hollow, tired, desperate. Her name was Rila, though no one had spoken it kindly for many years. She moved quietly between the stalls, close enough to smell food but far enough that no merchant would think she wanted to steal. Hunger twisted her stomach, but she kept her head down. She had learned long ago, a starving alien is a problem no one wants to see. She wasn't allowed to beg. And she didn't want trouble. She only wanted to disappear. But that night, something stopped her steps. A small human child. Girl around 7 sat at a wooden table, eating warm soup with soft bread. Her hair was messy, her smile innocent, her little legs swinging freely under the bench. She giggled at something her father said, dipping her bread into the bowl. Rila froze. She didn't want to stare. She tried to look away, but her empty stomach screamed, and her eyes, completely out of her control, fixed themselves on the girl's plate, not on the human child, just the bread. One slice, that was all she wished for. She took a step back, ready to slip away before anyone noticed. But someone did. Strong hook, first 2 to 3 minutes of suspense. Daniel, the single human father, suddenly turned and caught Rila watching his child's food. He didn't shout. He didn't stand up. He simply noticed, really noticed the way her hands shook, the way her ribs pressed through her cloak. His soldier instincts reacted first. Is she dangerous? But the next thought hit even harder. She's starving. Their eyes met for only 1 second. Rila panicked. She bowed quickly, turned around, and walked toward the dark corner of the market, like a shadow trying to flee before someone pointed a spotlight at it. Daniel felt something twist inside his chest. Something old. Something painful. He hadn't felt it since his wife died 2 years ago. The instinct to protect someone fragile. His daughter. Lena tugged his sleeve. Daddy. Why did she look so sad? He looked at the half-eaten bread on Lena's plate, then at the empty darkness where Rila had disappeared. Something wasn't right. Something felt wrong. He stood up immediately. Stay close. Lena, he said, taking his daughter's hand. We're going to find her. The search. Rila moved fast, weaving through crowds, her vision blurring from hunger. She found a quiet, empty alley behind the market and leaned against the wall, breathing heavily. Her knees almost gave out. She didn't know how much longer she could keep going. Then she heard footsteps. She flinched. Daniel stepped into the alley, holding Lena's hand. He held both palms up, showing he meant no harm. I'm not here to bother you, he said gently. Are you hurt? Rila shook her head quickly, clutching her cloak tighter around her thin body. Her voice was barely a whisper. I'm leaving. I will not disturb your settlement. You weren't disturbing anyone, Daniel replied. You looked hungry. Her eyes widened in fear. Her voice cracked. I did not steal. I only smelled food. I will never do it again. Lena stepped forward, holding the piece of bread from her plate. You can have mine, she said softly. Rila froze. No one had ever offered her food before. Not once. She stared at the bread like it wasn't real. Then her hands shook as she slowly reached out. She took the piece, bowed her head, and whispered, Thank you. She ate it in tiny, careful bites, like someone afraid the food would vanish if she chewed too fast. Daniel watched her. There was no doubt. Now she wasn't dangerous. She was dying. The warmth of Candia's after she finished the bread. Rila looked up with trembling eyes. I will leave now, she whispered. Thank you for your mercy. Daniel raised a hand. Wait, you have nowhere to go, do you? She froze again. Slowly, she shook her head. I was part of a labor group, she said softly. We worked in the mines. But they closed it. They said we were no longer needed. We were released with no money, no food, nowhere to sleep. Daniel felt anger rise inside him, not at her, but at a system that used people and threw them away like trash. "You're coming with us," he said firmly. Rila stepped back in shock. "No, I cannot. You have a child. I do not want danger for you." "You're not dangerous, Rila," Daniel said. "You're hungry. That's different." Lena smiled and tugged Rila's cloak. "Come home with us. Daddy makes good soup." Rila's eyes filled with tears she couldn't control. She nodded. Humanity SHINEST. Daniel brought her home to their small metal cabin on the edge of the outpost. It wasn't fancy, just a kitchen, 2 bedrooms, and a warm fire core, but Rila stared around as if she had walked into a palace. "You can sit," Daniel said, pulling out a chair. She hesitated, then slowly sat down like she didn't think. She was allowed. Lena brought a blanket and wrapped it around Rila's shoulders. Daniel cooked, quietly but fast, a warm broth with herbs, protein cubes and bread. When he placed the bowl in front of her, Rila stared at it for a long time, her hands trembling again. "Eat," he said gently. She took a spoonful. Her eyes widened. "It's warm." She ate silently, tears falling into the bowl. Daniel pretended not to see. Lena watched with a big, proud smile. When she finished, she whispered, "Why? Why are you helping me?" Daniel sat across from her. "Because someone helped me once," he said softly. "When I lost my wife, I had nothing. Someone fed me. Now it's my turn." Rila lowered her head. "I will work. I will clean. I can repair things. Please let me repay you." "You don't have to repay kindness," Daniel said. But Rila shook her head. "In my world, nothing is free." Daniel smiled gently. "Then learn something new today." A new HOME that night, Daniel gave Rila the spare room. She tried to sleep on the floor until Lena forced her onto the bed. Rila laughed softly, the first real laugh in years. In the morning, she woke early and cooked breakfast, her way of giving something back. Daniel tasted it and nearly dropped his spoon. "This is actually amazing." Rila smiled shyly. "I used to cook for my mining group." Lena hugged her. "You're staying with us forever." Rila stiffened, then slowly hugged her back. "I would like to." The danger RETUNS, but Outpost 9 was not a safe place for abandoned workers. Later that day, 3 guards came knocking hard. "We heard you took in a stray alien," the leader said coldly. "She belongs to the mining corporation. Hand her over." Daniel stepped in front of them. "She belongs to no one." The guards sneered. "That creature is property." Rila stepped out shaking. "I will go. I don't want trouble." Daniel grabbed her wrist gently and pulled her behind him. "No," he said. "She's under my protection now." The guards tried to push past him. Daniel took one step forward, blocking them completely. "You want her?" he said dangerously. "Then you go through me." The guards hesitated. Everyone in the outpost knew Daniel used to be a combat sergeant. A decorated one. Fighting him would be suicide. The guards spat on the floor and backed away. "This isn't over." Daniel closed the door and turned to Rila. She was shaking so hard she could barely breathe. "You didn't have to fight for me," she whispered. "Yes," he said firmly. "I did." Lena hugged Rila's leg. "Daddy will always protect you." Rila knelt down, hugged the little girl tightly, and cried openly. For the first time in her life, she felt safe. The end, but full of okope that night. As Rila sat by the fire, wrapped in a blanket, watching Daniel repair tools and Lena draw pictures, she realized something powerful. She hadn't found food. She hadn't found shelter. She had found a family. And for a once-forgotten alien woman who only wanted to leave quietly. This was more than she ever dreamed.